Have you been looking at the front of your house thinking your front door looks a little dingy and blah? There are several things you can do to beautify your front door and enhance the curb appeal of your home. For instance, you can add a new front door handle and lock, a door knocker, a kick plate. All of these things will make your front door look much better. They're very easy to install. You can do it yourself, and we're going to show you how. We're going to start right here. As you can see, both the doorknob and the deadbolt lock are dull and tarnished. They've both really been weathered, so we're going to replace them. Now, the great thing about this is the only tool you need to take these out is a Phillips head screwdriver. And once you have the old hardware out, then we're ready to install the new. Now, I have this brass handle and a brass deadbolt by Schlage. Not only is this going to make your door look much better, but it's also going to provide much better security. This handle and deadbolt comes in a kit that has a template. So if you need to drill holes in your door, you just hold this template right up to the door and it shows you exactly where your holes need to be. In our case, we already have the holes in our door, so we're not going to need this template. But if you need it to drill your holes, just read the instructions right here on the template. So to get started, we're going to put the handle in first. This latch bolt will go right back in where the old one came out, so you don't need to pre-drill your holes or anything, you just screw this in. Now that the latch bolt is secure, we're ready to add the handle set, and that just slips right through the latch bolt. And if you notice, this handle set has a tendency to sag, and what we need to do is attach this handle set to the door, so we need to mark this hole. But before you do that, make sure that you push the handle up so that it's flush with the door, and make sure that the alignment is straight, and then just take your pencil and mark the hole. Once the hole is marked, then remove the handle set and take the drill to drill the pilot hole. Now that the hole is drilled, put the handle set back in, and again lift up on it so that it's flush with the door. Take your mounting screw, just get that started, and then just attach it to the door. I'm finishing the installation of the handle set by putting the doorknob on the other side. It just takes 2 screws and it's in. We're ready to install the bolt mechanism now. The bolt mechanism just goes right through where the old one was, and again, this is real easy to install. It just takes 2 little screws and it's in. Now we're ready to add the lock mechanism for the deadbolt. First, we're going to start with a thumb turn, and we're going to put that on from inside the door, and then we're going to add the lock mechanism from the outside, and these should just fit right together. I'm snugging down this last screw, and now we're going to see if this works. And yes, it does, so that's great. If you notice this bolt, it's a full 1-inch throw which goes deep into the door frame, and that's part of what gives this lock its strength and stability. We're going to install this brass Ives door knocker, and the great thing about this is it has a space in the middle for your peephole, so it's 2 in 1. Not only do we get the extra security from the peephole, but our door is also going to look much better. Now, just like in the other kit, this comes with a template, and this is going to help us with installation. Before we install the new unit, we need to remove the old peephole. Now, this is just finger tight, so we should just be able to unscrew it, and it pops right out. Now we're ready to use the template. Now normally you would take this center hole and you would put it right where you want your peephole to be. But since we already have a hole drilled in the door, we know that we want our peephole right there, and so we put this right over the top of that. Now we just want to make sure that this paper is straight and then tape it down. So to make sure that it's secure, so when you mark your holes, you have them in the right spot. And then just to check that, use a level. Just make sure that you have it straight, and that is, so that's great. Now just take a nail and go right through the paper into the door so that you know right where you want your next holes to be. I'm going to take this template off, and you can see where I marked the hole with the nail to drill the mounting holes for the door knocker. I'm going to grab my drill and it'll just go right through. Now that I've drilled both holes, I'm ready to install the knocker. I have these 2-inch through bolts that are going to attach the knocker to the door. Now these need to come through from the inside. So I'm going to push this through the hole and then line this up with the bottom of the knocker, and you can just tighten it down with your fingertips for now and then come back later and snug it up with a screwdriver. Now that the knocker is secure, we're ready to install the peephole. This just unscrews, and this part with the glass goes in from the outside, and it fits in there. And then this other part comes around from the inside. And you just thread this with your fingertips until it's secure. Another thing that you can do to improve the looks of your door is to add a kick plate. This will also help protect the bottom of your door. You see how this one has scuff marks and kick marks? Well, this kick plate is going to help prevent that. These come in 6-inch or 8-inch heights, and we've already measured our door, so we know that we need 6 inches because of these panels. So that's what we're going to use. The first step for installing the kick plate is to mark the holes where you need to drill your pilot holes on the bottom of the door. Now here's a tip for you. If you're doing this by yourself, it's really difficult to hold this kick plate, keep it level, and mark the holes all at the same time. So put some masking tape on the back of your kick plate, then that will hold it in place so that your hands are free to mark the spot. My kick plate is up, it's centered on the door, and the masking tape is holding it in place. But before I mark the holes, I just want to check to make sure that it's level, and it is. So I'm just going to take my pencil and mark each hole. Before you drill your pilot holes, take the kick plate off so that you don't scar up the finish. Now we're just ready to start drilling. I'm putting this last screw in, but I don't want to snug it down too tight because this kick plate comes with a plastic film. And what this does is it protects it during shipping and installation so that it doesn't get scarred up, and it's much easier to pull off if all of your screws aren't tight. So before I tighten them all, I'm just going to pull this right off. The last thing we're going to do to make this front door look better is we're going to replace these current numbers with these brass numbers. That way all of our additions to this door will complement each other. To do this, take a flathead screwdriver, gently place it under the numbers, and then pry them off. This is the easiest part of this job. You just screw the numbers in. Now we're finished. For about $150 and about 3 hours of your time, you can dramatically upgrade the appearance of your front entryway and improve the security in your home.